Hello, Richard Needles here. I want to talk to you today about delegation. How many of you as leaders feel you're really a good delegator? I have a little tip that I think might help as you are delegating work to other people, helping them develop, and giving them work that you don't have to do so you can do other more strategic next level activities. Several years ago, I was working with a local chief financial officer, and we identified that delegation was one of those skills that he wanted to improve. So, like any good coach, I didn't give him the answer immediately, but I gave him a research book, The Lominger Leadership Architect, which has multiple leadership competency definitions and suggestions on how people can get better at those individual competencies. So I said, I want you to buy this book. He went online, bought his own copy of the book, studied about 8 pages related to delegation, and in our next coaching conversation, he came back to me and I said, what did you learn from reading those pages on delegation? And he said, in those pages, it said people who are really good at delegation give away whole projects. And he said, Richard, I have to tell you that I tend to do step 1, 2, 3, give it to one of my direct reports, have them do 4 and 5. I take it back and do 6, 7, 8. I may let them do 8 or 9, but I do 10 myself to make sure it's really good and finished. And he said, I need to stop that. I need to let them own a project, own an activity, and be responsible for the whole project. I said, wow, that's really good learning in reading 8 pages. So I do have a follow-up question for you. When you assign team members that whole project, you're still responsible for reporting what's happening with that activity up the organization, across the organization. You still own and are responsible for that project. So when you let the other people own and be responsible for that, how will you measure and monitor their progress? So, like any good coach, I threw that question out. I let him kind of wiggle a little bit. He was uncertain. And then I said, how about if you ask them? Took him a second to kind of get what I was talking about. And then a light bulb went off. And I said, I think we're thinking the same thing now. When you give that big project to one of your team members, you should say right then, what's the best way for me to check in? I still need to let our CEO know what's happening with this. I need to let my peers know what's happening with this. I don't want you to feel like I'm micromanaging you, but I do need to check on progress. So would it work if we meet every Monday, every other Monday, Wednesday at 5? What's the best way that you feel good and I feel good about you owning and being responsible for this project? So that's my tip on delegation. If you think that's a good idea, please take it and run with it. Try it out, practice. If you think, well, that may not work for me, throw it away. It's okay. You don't have to take all the Richard Needles ideas. I'm going to put them out. Hope you can get something good from it, and have a great day. Thank you.